Emotional vulnerability is hard for most men to exhibit freely and in front of other people. Furthermore, the research from Zurich.com indicates that 38% of men never express their feelings and talk about it in front of other people, and 3 in 10 men admit to bottling up their emotions and dealing with it privately. Benjamin Smith is on a mission to change that. He's the founder of the Goliath Foundation, which is dedicated to mental health awareness for men. It meets everyday guys where they are, helping them to fill their toolkits with methods and ways to move past pain and to lead healthier and happier lives. Smith joined me this week to have a conversation about men's mental health, the importance of vulnerability, and showing emotion around the guys, and how cathartic that can be. I'm Kevin McShann, and let's do this conversation. Benjamin, if you're ready, I'll take a moment to welcome you to the program, and I'm super excited to learn all about the Goliath Foundation and all you do to support men's mental health. Great to see you this afternoon, buddy, and happy Canadian Thursday, buddy.
Thanks. Well, happy American Thursday to you.
No, buddy, just to let you know, we're both on this side of the border, bud. So I live in Windsor, Ontario, Canada, which is the city right across the river from Detroit, bud. So we're both Canadian born and bred, bud.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know that. Actually, I'm American born, but yeah, no, I didn't. I thought for some reason I thought you were in the States, but cool.
Yeah, I know my dad was American, but I was born a Canadian kid, bud. Absolutely.
Nice.
So absolutely. But tell me about the Goliath Foundation, buddy. I know it's all about supporting men's mental health and sort of meeting everyday guys where they are to help them deal with pain and live a more happier and healthier life. So tell me all about it.
Well, the Goliath Foundation is really my passion, and it's really a foundation that's dedicated to helping men to feel that joy and that self-acceptance within themselves, because I think it's such an important part of having a healthy world and community, is to have guys that are not being pulled down by this pain and this anxiety and this feeling like they need to march forward and this toxic masculinity and measuring up. We just need people to be calm and grounded and self-assured and at ease, because that's what the world needs right now. So the Goliath Foundation is really aimed towards helping people achieve that state of just like, you know what? I'm good. I'm happy. I'm genuinely feel good in the world. I feel good in my skin, and it's because of my own pain. Like I came up, I really, really struggled in lots and lots of ways as a kid with violence and neglect and betrayal and toxic craziness and all these different worlds I was in. So I really, once I kind of was able to start to navigate my way through that, I really felt like I had so much I wanted to say. I had so much I wanted to say about it, but I really wanted to kind of create a platform where it wasn't just me. It was like lots of people could join the conversation and really start to kind of address some of those issues and help people to find that sense of peace and calm within themselves, right? Because the world needs it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ben, I wanted to ask you about your opinion about how important it is for guys to celebrate their vulnerability and to be vulnerable in order to receive the help that they need from a mental health perspective.
Yeah, I think that there's such a long history of men just shoving all that emotion down and shoving their feelings down and not talking about things because you got to man up, right? But it's such a load of crap, I mean, I've been a bouncer, I've been a competitive boxer, I've been around drug dealers and gangsters and all this kind of craziness. And I mean, some of them have been my friends. I've been a lot of my friends, and I realize that everybody just wants to be heard. Everybody just wants to experience a sense of belonging, and they want to feel valued. They want to feel loved. These are universal things that everybody in the world wants to feel. And I don't care how hardcore you are, and I don't care how much it seems like you're living this crazy, aggressive or whatever lifestyle. Everybody wants the same thing. They all want to feel this. So, yeah, I just think it's super important to talk about, and I think it's I kind of forgot the question actually, but anyways, I'll kind of the answer is still the same. I think that men generally, people generally, but specifically men, need to find that place within their heart where it's like, you know what, I don't need to be the macho guy doing all this craziness and all this aggressive energy and stomping over everybody, because I just want to be heard. I just want to be understood. I want to be able to express myself and feel free to do that without judgment.
Yeah, absolutely. Ben, I know as part of your background, as you mentioned, you were a boxer. You were also an actor and a trainer. So, based on your experience, how does your previous professional experience help you execute the work that you're doing now?
Well, honestly, I was a personal trainer for a long time, and as a personal trainer, a one-on-one trainer, I did lots of different workshops and group fitness and whatnot. But the one-on-one training I did with people, it's such an intimate background. We had a private training studio, so I got to really understand, get to listen to people and feel the meaning or the feeling behind their words, or what they really were feeling, because it's so one-on-one, it's so intimate. So that really helped me a lot for the work I'm doing now. It was like the perfect training ground combined with again, observation. Like, I bounced for 14 years on and off, so I was like constantly observing people, how they would react to things, and then I'm just a reflective guy, just reflecting on my own thoughts and chilling out, meditating, doing a lot of journaling. So all these things have really prepared me very well for what I do now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ben, we talked earlier about emotion and men and how important that is. But tell me, how do you think we can get more men to naturally open up about their mental health struggles and create a safe space for men to share about their mental health?
Well, I think we need to just keep doing what we're doing, which is talk about it. I mean, more people now are talking than ever, I think. But I think we need to be honest, because again, I don't care who it is. Everybody wants the same things. Everybody wants to be heard, and everybody wants to feel compassion and love. So I think we all just need to be honest about our experiences, what we want, how we feel hurt, how we feel like we need what we need to heal those hurts, and how we can move on and help the next person. So I think really it's the dialogue, which is really getting a lot obviously better now with social media and with people starting to talk. But it's just going to keep getting more and more and more until we just have we create a whole new paradigm of what it means to be a man, to be vulnerable, and how that's the most manly thing you can do, is to be honest.
Yeah, and Ben, tell me about your thoughts on how important it is to create communities of support for men where we can provide them resources and the human capital of people who've been through similar struggles of their own. So tell me, how important do you think it is to build a community of support?
I think it's everything. I think we need to create a global community where it's just becomes a norm. It's kind of like, yeah, I don't know. It's just we need to create, um, yeah, it's social conditioning. I guess we need to create a global shift in social consciousness and social conditioning where it just people feel okay to talk. They realize it's one of the most important things that has to be done. I don't feel good. I feel like I need something. I need support. I need help. Please help me. This is, and to feel and to just continue to create that dialogue and that honesty where it's okay, where you don't have to keep it down anymore. And again, that's kind of what the Goliath Foundation is about, is to share stories and to share, the dialogue, right? Like people like you're doing that all the time, right? So we just need more of that, right?
Yeah, open up to conversation, right? It's important to have them,
Absolutely.
isn't it?
Yeah, let's talk.
Absolutely, buddy. And tell me, how do you think social media and sort of the pressures that come along with that has affected men's mental health in the 21st century, buddy?
Well, I think it's pretty huge because for one thing, there's so much social media, so people are distracted, right? So I think a lot of people, not just men, people in general, but they're distracted by all these images of what it means to be a man, what it means to be successful, how you should react to things, and it's just like they're so inundated with this materialistic, might is right kind of view of the world and society. Um, that is it's skewed. It's so damaging emotionally, but also on the same side of the coin is the power of media to shift that narrative, right? I mean, in no way could we ever in all of human history change the world for the better, quicker and more efficiently than we can now because of social media. So on the one side, it's like horrible in that people just are given all these mixed messages, and they're so confused and they're so distracted. But on the other side, it also is the key to massive, very fast shifts in positive global consciousness.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell me, how do you think COVID affected men's mental health?
Well, I think I said right from day one with COVID was kind of like, now you're going to kind of see if you've done the work, if the truth will be told. Like so I mean, kind of what I meant was, all these guys that didn't really have solid foundations of inner peace and inner strength. It's like, well, if I mean, it doesn't matter how much money you make, doesn't matter how great you think your job is, doesn't matter all these things. I mean, when the world shuts down and you get down to the basics of what's important, now you're going to see the truth about how you've been living your life and what's important. And I think that was one of the great things. I mean, again, I don't want to say like it's great, the coronavirus or the pandemic, but I mean, if we could learn anything from it, that's one thing that I think we all should have learned, that at the end of the day, your inner strength and your sense of your ability to deal with things and to adapt to difficult situations, and understanding what's important, what's most important, like your family, your peace of mind, whatever it is, all those things should have been, at least intellectualized a little bit or emotionalized a little bit during the pandemic.
Yeah, and Ben, I'm also curious to ask you about social isolation and societal acceptance. For anyone watching this, any guy watching this, What would be your message about the importance of persevering when it comes through social isolation or feeling left alone out of society? What would be your message to any guy watching this who may need some words of inspiration?
Well, I think that I've said this before, but I think that you have to kind of I think for anybody, the first thing again for me is to enjoy the company you keep when you're all by yourself, and that requires a lot of time just kind of feeling at peace and at ease with yourself. So isolation can be difficult for anybody, but still you should be able, people should take the time, have taken the time, and be continually taking the time to again enjoy the company they keep when they're by themselves, be at peace with themselves, so that isolation is can often be welcomed. But also to understand that you can create connections with people in lots of different ways, even if you don't have access to social media. Most people are able to go out their door and find somebody that they can, just all it takes is just little things, like, hey, how's it going? A smile. All these little things build you up as a social being in a social world. So it doesn't take that much, but I think people need to kind of understand that it's the simple little things consistently done. Like I say, smile at somebody, say hello to somebody, be genuinely listen to somebody. All these little things, they build you up as a social being, right? And so I think it's very important, and they're very simple. You don't need to join. I mean, joining a club is great. Being a part of a community is great. But it's the little things consistently done. Like I say, just small little acts of kindness or compassion or hearing, listening, genuinely listening to people. All these things build you up. They make you a stronger person in a social world.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell me about what does it mean to you to give men a sense of empowerment through the work that you do?
Well, to me, I think that well, here, let me say this. If I could like, usually when I get to a place where I can walk down the street and just see some guy and say, hey, how's it going? And see them just kind of like listen, smile calmly, and say, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'll know for sure that they have this sense of ease within themselves, and to me, it's teaching people or helping guys or helping them recognize that it's all within you. Just calm down. You're a good person. You've got all these great qualities. Life is this magical ride if you allow it to be. And it doesn't matter like who you are or the light. Like, we all just got plopped into this body. We didn't ask. We didn't get to choose what body or circumstances we were born into. But no matter what it is, there's gifts there, and you have to own those gifts that you were born into. And that I don't know, there's just so many things that every individual can find within themselves to uplift them and make them feel good about themselves, and to make them feel like, what, life is good. I'm good. I'm a worthy human being. And I think that's the thing that I am most passionate about, trying to get people and men to understand that it's all within you. You need to be proud of yourself. You need to just feel that self-acceptance within yourself. It's so important. It's everything. It's priceless. There's no amount of money, there's no amount of anything that you could put on that feeling of just genuine self-acceptance and self-assurance within yourself.
Yeah, and Ben, tell me, how do you think you would complete this sentence? How do you think we'll really know when we make measurable progress towards helping men sort of tackle their mental health issues?
Well, I guess I would kind of echo what I just said. When you can see a guy pretty much most of the time. I mean, obviously there's going to be individuals that are struggling. We need to help everybody. But when you could typically talk to somebody, talk to them, doing so good. How are you doing? How are you doing? And have it be genuine and not like, oh, I made this much money. Look at my big car and look at my this and my trophies and my accolades. And no, it's just like, you know what? I'm so good. How are you? Look at what a beautiful day this is. When that becomes the norm, when you are interacting with a guy, I know we're pretty much we got there.
Yeah, and to that point, Ben, what do you think has you most optimistic about the future of men's mental health and the progress that we've already made?
What has me most optimistic?
Yeah.
I just think that again, things like what you're doing, what I'm doing, just there's so many channels now where people are starting the dialogue. I mean, that's the most important thing is the awareness and the dialogue, and then yeah. So I'm super optimistic because again, we have this incredible social media going on that's shifting the narrative so fast, and the conversations are happening thanks to people like you.
Well, I do appreciate that, Ben, and I know that one of the highlights of the work that you do is that you work with your daughter on this initiative. So tell me about working with family and the pride you take in that, buddy.
Well, working with my daughter, like we have a podcast, the Love and Goliath podcast, and she works with me with the foundation. She's kind of the tech girl or the tech person behind, because I'm really not very good. I'm not a tech person at all. So my daughter puts all that together, but we had a real rough go in the early years because she actually disappeared from my life. I didn't know where she lived for a while. Um, so to be at this phase of our lives where she's 30 years old and we have this amazing connection. She lives not far away from me. We talk all the time. We work together. We're like the greatest friends, and it really is just like it's really amazing and incredible, and I'm so proud of her, and I'm so blessed to be able to have this great relationship with my daughter.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell me about the podcast, buddy, and the messages that you hope to convey through the platform.
Well, I think we've tackled lots of different things. I think we have almost 70-ish episodes, but we've tackled everything from suicide to self-loathing to crappy jobs to just lots of different things. We try to it's basically me. I'm 51 and my daughter who's 30 now, and we've been going for a couple of years, but it's basically the perspective of a guy who again has kind of navigated this crazy world of bouncing and drugs and violence and this and that compared to a 30-year-old woman. So there's 20 years between us. So it's different perspective, and we just kind of tackle all the issues, that people are dealing with, and try to have fun with it, but be honest. Just be honest and share the perspectives that we have. So I think that the people that listen to the podcast, they hear the resonance, or they get the feeling of somebody not trying to lecture or anything, but like my attitude is, hey, I kind of, these are my experiences. I kind of been there. Hopefully they help you, so it's just honest. Like I never tried to profess to be a know-it-all or to have all the answers, but I do have quite a bit of experience in life and these troublesome kind of circumstances I had to navigate my way through. So that's what we try to bring to the podcast, is just two different viewpoints, two different generations, just talking about the same issues that everybody's dealing with.
Absolutely. And finally, Ben, tell me, when you look at your legacy, I'm wondering how you want that to be defined both personally and professionally.
Well, I think personally and professionally, it would be pretty much the same thing. In that, as a kid, I was a very, very high risk kid, getting in a lot of trouble. And I always say, I've said this often, that when I was arrested for the third time when I was 15, and a judge said, I'm not going to make it. I'm going to be dead or in jail by the time I'm 20. And I always remembered that nobody really believed in me. And yet here I am. I'm this happy guy. I'm super happy. I have this great relationship with my daughter. I have a great wife that I have this great relationship with. I live this great life. I'm happy. I'm genuinely happy. I feel like a self-actualized human being. So I think my legacy, if it is anything, with my personally and within the Goliath Foundation, is like I was a kid who I don't think anybody thought would ever make it. And here I am affecting the lives of so many people. And I feel like I have affected the lives of so many people in a positive way. And so honestly, again, I feel like a very self-actualized human being. And I also feel like that same sense of like, wow, look at what I'm able to do is just, that's the legacy of the Goliath Foundation, is that this person that had almost nothing going for him was able to kind of create this platform that is changing lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You're making quite the difference there, Benjamin. Tell me, finally, if people want to get connected with the Goliath Foundation or the podcast, what's the best way they can do that?
Probably just go through the goliathfoundation.com. You can email us through the goliathfoundation.com that's the link to the podcast. That's the link to our Gmails, our email is there. That'd be the way you on Facebook. We're the Goliath Foundation. Yeah.
Yeah, well, fabulous, Benjamin. I really have to thank you for engaging in conversation with me on this important issue of men's mental health, buddy. I want to thank you for the work that you do in the space and for joining me this afternoon. It's most appreciated.
Well, thank you. I mean, I would like to say, I was really looking forward to talking to you. So it's been really my pleasure.